In our quest to understand the complexities of life, we often stumble upon a paradoxical truth. What we perceive as concrete and undeniable might be nothing more than a mirage, a trick of the mind. Are our problems truly inherent in our circumstances, or are they constructs of our own making, shaped by a mind conditioned to see the world in a certain light? First, let's delve deeper into the fundamental principle that our perception shapes our reality. This concept isn't merely a speculative thought, but a cornerstone in Eastern thought, woven deeply into its philosophy and spirituality. The ancient texts, such as the Vedas, a collection of knowledge and wisdom in Hinduism, and the profound teachings of the Buddha in Buddhism, consistently echo this idea. They suggest that the world as we experience it is less of an absolute reality and more a reflection of our inner state, our thoughts, and our consciousness. To illustrate, let's consider the example of a rainstorm. A serene mind, one that is at peace and in harmony with the world, might look at the rainstorm and see a beautiful, natural occurrence. This mind might observe the rain nourishing the earth, the play of lightning across the sky, and hear music in the rumble of thunder. It appreciates the rainstorm as a dance of nature, a vital part of the cycle of life. Contrast this with a troubled mind, one fraught with worries, fears, or negative thoughts. The same rainstorm might appear to this mind as a symbol of gloom or a harbinger of doom. It sees not the nourishment of the earth, but the disruption of plans, the gloominess of the sky, and the potential for destruction. The rainstorm, in this view, is no longer a natural and necessary phenomenon, but a source of discomfort and anxiety. This divergence in perception begs the question: why does the same phenomenon evoke such disparate reactions? The answer lies in our subjective experience of the world. Each individual's perception is filtered through their personal lens, a lens shaped by their beliefs, past experiences, current emotional state, and overall worldview. It is through this lens that we interpret and assign meaning to the events around us. Therefore, in many ways, we don't see the world as it is, we see it as we are. Our perception of reality is a reflection of our inner selves. Diving deeper into the realm of Eastern philosophy, we encounter a pivotal concept known as Maya, or illusion, a term prominently featured in Hindu and Buddhist thought. This notion of Maya invites us to reconsider the very essence of our problems. It suggests that what we often perceive as issues or obstacles are not intrinsically problematic. They are not unreal in a tangible physical sense. Rather, their status as problems is a subjective layer we impose upon events that are, in their essence, neutral. The teachings of Maya lead us to an understanding that the world around us and the events that unfold within it are like a canvas onto which we project our interpretations. When we experience something unfavorable, it's not necessarily the event itself that causes distress, but our perception and interpretation of it. To further understand this, let's consider the Taoist idea of yin and yang. This ancient Chinese philosophy emphasizes the duality in nature and life, light and dark, growth and decay, ease and difficulty. Every situation, according to this worldview, inherently contains elements of both yin, negative, passive, downward, and yang, positive, active, upward. This duality is not just a coexistence but an interdependence. One cannot exist without the other. Therefore, when we encounter a situation, it inherently possesses both positive and negative aspects. The emphasis we place on either the positive or negative aspects of a situation determines our perception of it. When we label something as a problem, what we are essentially doing is focusing on the yin, the negative aspect, often to the exclusion of the yang, the positive aspect. This selective attention can obscure the potential benefits, learnings, or growth opportunities that are present within the same situation. For instance, losing a job might initially seem like a disaster, yin, but it could also be an opportunity for pursuing a passion or discovering a new career path, yang. This perspective doesn't diminish the reality of challenging or painful experiences. Instead, it offers a broader lens through which to view them. By acknowledging the coexistence of positive and negative in every situation, we can approach our problems with a more balanced mindset. We start to see problems not as definitive states, but as part of a dynamic interplay of forces, each with its own set of lessons and opportunities. Consider the multifaceted nature of our experiences, how a single event can be interpreted in myriad ways depending on the individual perceiving it. This concept is vividly illustrated in the story of the old farmer, a classic parable in Taoist teachings. An old farmer, who has spent his life working diligently on his farm, one day experiences what his neighbors deem a misfortune. His horse runs away. While the neighbors offer their sympathies for his loss, the farmer simply responds, "Maybe." The next day, the horse returns, bringing with it several wild horses. The neighbors now congratulate the farmer on his good fortune, but again, he merely says, "Maybe." The story progresses with the farmer's son trying to tame one of the wild horses, only to fall off and break his leg. The neighbors again see this as an unfortunate event, but the farmer maintains his non-committal stance. Finally, when the army comes to the village to draft young men for war, the farmer's son is spared due to his injury, an outcome the neighbors view as fortunate. Throughout all these events, the farmer's response remains the same, a simple maybe. This tale encapsulates the essence of the Taoist approach to life's events, a perspective that refrains from hastily labeling experiences as strictly good or bad. The farmer's non-committal responses highlight the fluid nature of circumstances, which can shift from being seen as positive to negative or vice versa, depending on subsequent developments and individual perspectives. The story encourages us to reflect on the subjective nature of our judgments. What one person views as a catastrophic failure, another might see as a valuable lesson or even a gateway to a new opportunity. The farmer's attitude exemplifies a balanced approach to life's ups and downs, recognizing that today's disaster could be the seed of tomorrow's fortune, and vice versa. This leads to a profound philosophical inquiry. Are problems universal or individual constructs? If problems were inherent in situations, there would likely be a consensus on what constitutes a problem. Yet, we observe that reactions to the same situation can vary greatly among different people. This disparity in perception suggests that what we consider to be a problem is often a subjective interpretation, colored by our individual experiences, beliefs, and current emotional state. For example, an entrepreneur facing a business failure might view it as a devastating end to their venture. In contrast, another entrepreneur might see it as an invaluable learning experience, a necessary step on the path to success. This difference in perception underscores the idea that problems are not fixed entities. Rather, they are fluid and malleable, shaped by the lenses through which we view the world. The path to freeing ourselves from illusory problems lies in cultivating a mind that sees beyond the dualities of good and bad, desirable and undesirable. This doesn't mean becoming indifferent or passive. Rather, it's about developing a deeper understanding and acceptance of the fluid nature of reality. Through practices like meditation and mindful living, as espoused in Zen Buddhism, we can learn to witness the ebb and flow of life without getting caught in the drama of problems. Eastern philosophy invites us to a radical rethinking of what we consider problems. By understanding the subjective and often illusory nature of our worries, we open ourselves to a life of greater ease and contentment. It's not that problems cease to exist, but rather that we cease to create them in our minds. And in this cessation lies the path to true peace and freedom.